guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Samantha Izundu if you are new here, and today I was like, you know what, let's take it back to Australia. I literally pulled out everything that I own that is Australian, and it's a lot. I've got all my eyeshadows in front of me. I've got a whole box here and a little bit more here. What I would do in categories, everything that I own that is Australian makeup. So when it's Australian makeup, it can be indie, drugstore. There is no luxury Australian makeup. Maybe Ere Perez, but there's not really, is there? Not that I really know of. So yeah, I've got a mixture of indie and drugstore, and we're just going to go through each category, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it and why I like it or why I don't like it. Most of what I have I like because I declutter what I don't like, but I love Australian makeup. I love supporting Australian makeup, especially in these times. I think buying local is important, and I just think we have really good quality makeup. I think the rest of the world's missing out, especially foundation. That's what I want to say. My favorite category of Australian makeup is probably foundation. Like, we have some incredible foundations. Anyway, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about eyeshadows. I thought I would start strong. It takes up a lot of space, so I'm going to put that back in my room when I finish, so I have space for everything else. Now, do I do an order? I'll separate indie and drugstore. That's how I'll do it. But I essentially just want to, I don't even know what I'm going to call this series. What should I call it, Mona? I'm not going to rank it because I don't have the patience to rank things, like to set them all out and rank them. Maybe just an in-depth discussion. I'll have to think about what I'm going to call it, but basically I'm just reviewing every piece of Australian makeup I own. Now, the only thing that I'm not including is discontinued makeup. I do have some Australian makeup in my drawers, but I looked up things that I was a bit iffy on, and some things are definitely discontinued, and I'm just not including those because you can't get them. So let's start with Ulta 3 because they're right in front of me. I have 3 of their eyeshadow palettes. I did have 4, but I decluttered one, the matte one, because I wasn't too fond of it, but I prefer these ones. This is their brand new one, the Lavender Illusion that came with their Galactic Glow collection. I think that's what the collection was called, and this is probably one of their more fun ones. They do typically do more neutral. You will find in this series I have a lot of Ulta 3. I'm a big fan of Ulta 3. I think it's very underrated and extremely affordable. These go for like $9.95 each. If you have never tried Ulta 3, please try them. You'll see in this series what my favorite items are. And I will be honest with you and tell you the ones that I'm not 100% fussed on. But I think the eyeshadow palettes are not their best product. They're good if you like something that's just kind of like not overly pigmented. And there is definitely a market. Sometimes I don't want overly pigmented. Sometimes I want to be able to build something on my face. And sometimes I actually want it to be really light. And there is another palette that I'm going to talk about that is exactly that. It is light, but it still blends. It's not patchy. It's still a good eyeshadow. It's just not those pack-a-punch ones. And that is what the Ulta 3 ones are. They're not insane. Their shimmers I don't think are fantastic. But they're not horrible. See, that actually looks quite nice. See, I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's do this marble shade. See, that's not as, like, it's light, but it's still pretty. It's not bad. It's just not the greatest in the whole wide world, you know? And you're paying $10. Yes, baby, you want more food? So yeah, I don't rank these my highest eyeshadows, but I do think you got a spare tenner. It ain't bad. Here's the two mattes. I do like this palette. They feel really nice, but you will see in the swatches, see, they're not heavy, but they're still nice, still nice. So they're Ulta 3. So this berry one is Berry Bling. We have Feelin' Hot, which is their very neutral, and then Lavender Illusion. Okay, next I have the Chi Chi Super Nude. No one talks about Chi Chi anymore. It's really sad. It was such a good brand. People loved Chi Chi. Oh my god, they were so good back in the day. This palette is really nice. I feel like it's got very Huda Beauty vibes. She does a lot of these kind of nudie, soft tones. There are 4 pressed glitters, which I I'm not a fan of. I actually think I have used it when I went to like a glitter party, but otherwise I didn't. But I think this is a really nice palette. Once again, is it like the most insanely good I've ever used? Good eyeshadow palette I've ever used? No, but it's nice. It is nice. That's a really bad swatch, like really bad. But yeah, I would say similar to Ulta 3 in that it's good. If you like this color story, I do recommend it, but it's like just a basic palette. I have 3 of these Australis palettes. If you know me and you know my channel, I think Australis eyeshadows are insanely high quality. Like all 3 of them that I have, I think they're all equally incredible. I would say the shimmers on this palette are a step above. Yeah, I would say the shimmers in this palette, the mattes in this palette are better. This palette is so good. This is the original Neutralize. This is the original Neutralize. There is a Neutralize too. This one is phenomenal. It is just beautiful. The mattes and the shimmers are equally gorgeous. And I just think it's such a nice, oh, they're so buttery. Look at that. Not that one. These two. Just beautiful. So I would say this is my second favorite formula. Not that we're doing favorites. I could do a top 2, top 3. And this is probably my second favorite eyeshadow formula that is Australian. Highly recommend. Always on sale. Not always, but you can get them on sale. I think I paid 40% off for all of these at a Priceline sale. And I really like it. I'd say this is probably my favorite just because it's the most wearable, but cool toned. This is a duochrome. This is a duochrome. No, I lie. It's this one. This is a duochrome. This one here. You can see there is a red undertone. It is, the quality is just so good. It's so good. Look at that, one swipe. So yes, get yourself an Australis, and they've got colourful palettes, neutral palettes. There's something for everyone. These ones are more heavily pigmented than the other ones that I just mentioned. Okay, the other palette I wanted to talk about, all my palettes are real dirty, but I'm not cleaning every piece of makeup that I own. I'm sorry, but I'm not. BYS, the Noosa palette. I don't own any of their tin palettes. This is the only one that I own. I love it. This is the palette I was saying that is not heavily pigmented. I find myself reaching for this palette when I want something that I don't have to think about it, but I want something on my eyes. This is it. This is the palette that I go for. And I just mean in my whole collection, not just the Australian ones. I just love the tones. I wear this, I wear this, I wear this. I love this palette. I think it was $16 I paid for all of these shadows. Like I said, not the highest quality, but my God, does it get the job done. And my eyeshadow always looks beautiful when I use this palette. These Mecca Max singles are still available. I think they go for $6 or $8 each. I can't remember. I want to say maybe $8. These are really good. I really like wearing these as like a one and done if I just want some shimmer. Really pretty. We have, that one is Wannabe. Like Whatever is my most worn. I've actually got a bit of a dip in it. I'd wear this one to work all the time. They're really good quality. If you just want, like, they have a lot of neutral shades, but I don't need single neutrals. I got a lot of those. So I decided to get some fun colors. And then this one is That's Hot. They're really good quality. I really like Mecca Max eyeshadows. I think they're just really good quality for the price. All right, next is Mecca Max again. These are their new mini mix eyeshadow palettes. I have 3. I bought 2 and I was gifted 1. This is a Sunset Quad. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes. And I will tell you the makeup. I'm wearing Australian makeup on my face so I can show you what it looks like. This one I'm wearing, this is the Sunset Quad. The shimmer is not from this palette, but I am wearing this one. And then these two in my outer of the eye. And then I'm wearing this one all over the lid as like a transition. And I'll show you the shimmer that I'm wearing. Really nice quality. I've actually really enjoyed this palette. You can see this one here is a duochrome. And And they're just, I think it's a really cute, easy palette. And they're all very different. This is Disco Friends, which is my cooler tone greeny grunge. And then I also have the Smoke and Mirrors. These are a lot more pigmented. This is probably my least favorite. I did find this to be a little patchy. Wasn't a huge fan. But this shade here kind of saves the day on this palette. Really, really pretty. I think they do kind of vary in quality. I would say this purple one's my least favorite, but I really like these two. And I think they're on par with the quality of the singles. They do pack a punch of pigment, so you have to like pigmented shadows to like these. And I know out there, everyone's very divided. I am actually a really big fan of buildable shadows. I don't need a heavily pigmented shadow. I'm very fair skinned, as you can see. So, I mean, that's my personal preference. I can't really speak upon someone else. But obviously, if you're not as fair as I am, you might want something with more pigment. And that is why I tell you that it's a good eyeshadow, but with not a lot of pigment, or it's a good shadow with a lot of pigment. You can have bad eyeshadows with a lot of pigment. They can still be patchy. So when I say not a lot of pigment, that doesn't mean I don't like it. It means it is softer and more buildable if you have fairer skin. So yes, that's why I like to have a variety, because sometimes I do want intense pigment. Like this next one I'm gonna show you, intense matte shade pigment. And I love it, but you're gonna wanna have a more intense eye look with this. So, time to place for eyeshadows. So this is Glamanatrix. Now, this is the only Glamanatrix palette I have, but I have ordered the Nocturnal on pre-sale, this most recent release. And I'm glad I actually waited, because she's got a new pressing machine so that the shadows don't break, because she had an issue with the shadows breaking in transit. So I'm glad I actually waited for that. And then I'm going to buy on the 3rd of July the Nearly Natural palette. So I will have 3 palettes, and the reason why I'm buying 2 more palettes is because this has got to be one of my most favorite formulas. I'm wearing this shimmer here, Jingle Bells, on my eyes, and it's just absolutely stunning. It is absolutely stunning. I just love it. This is a very particular palette, but I find myself dipping into it for certain shades, mainly the shimmers. The shimmers are outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. This is the most popular one. You can see it's got a blue icy tone to it, but this is my favorite and most worn shadow. But the mattes are incredible. This is my favorite eyeshadow formula, is Glamanatrix, and I've only tried this palette. So I'm really excited to get the other 2 palettes and have a more in-depth understanding and review of Glamanatrix, which I'll probably do an in-depth review of Glamanatrix once I have the other 2 palettes. And then the rest we have an indie. So that was my first indie. And then I have the Geology Cosmetics, the Pilbara palette. And this is really nice, but it is, the only issue I have with this is that some shades are really nice and some are not. So this one is hard panned and nothing really shows up with this, like nothing happens. So that's a dud. But Starry Night is stunning. And the mattes are buttery soft. I really like Spin Effects, but you can see there's hard pan on there too. But it still looks really pretty. The matte, I would say the mattes are better than the shimmers in this. The mattes are absolutely stunning. Really, really nice. Still waiting for them to bring out another product. They have hinted that there is something else coming. So I'm interested to see what comes with their next palette. And then I just have two brands of single eyeshadows. These 2 rows here are from Enchanted Luster Cosmetics, and they are a brand, Australian brand, I think from Melbourne, on Etsy. So this is an Etsy brand, and I have the same issue with Geology Cosmetics, that some are beautiful but some are a bit duddy. So for example, this is a fluoro shadow. right? Isn't it the most stunning thing? But it's a little bit inconsistent when you use it. Jelly Wish is like a yellow. Oh my god, I love this one. Like, I love it. Let me show it to you. They're a little bit thick and chunky, so keep that in mind, because I think it's all handmade. So they're not as, the quality of the actual pan is not as high as some of the others. But look at this shade. Isn't it just stunning? That's Jelly Wish. So I do find that this is a really nice brand to try if you want to support a small indie brand. But there is a little bit of inconsistencies. I wouldn't try, if you are interested, I would probably avoid the fluoro range, but the others I really, really like. So definitely something to look at there. And then lastly, right, are we excited? Yeah. I think he wants to be part of the video. Lastly, we have Cloudchaser Cosmetics, which is I want to say it's on the newer side. Well, it's new to me at the very least. They sell single eyeshadows. They don't have any palettes. They do sell other makeup, like private labeled, but this I think they make themselves. I got more neutral shades on purpose, except for this color. It's got a bit of color. But I actually wanted more neutral wearable shades, and I would say I bought 5, and I really love 4 of the 5. There is one that I've used a few times and I'm like, oh, I could live without it. And I think it's more the color than the quality. The quality is good. All the qualities are good in these, but I just think the mixture of the color recipe didn't suit my skin tone. So it's not so much criticism on the quality, rather than I don't think it's really for me. And that is the shade Solemn. Is it this one? I'm pretty sure it's this one. It's just a little bit, it kind of reminds me when you mix too many colors together and it goes like a brownie. Like, see, that looks really pretty, and actually looked really pretty when I saw it on the website. But it just kind of looks a little bit too grey, bit flat is what I want to say. It's a bit too flat for me and what I like in eyeshadows. So, but the others are absolutely beautiful. So I'll show you. I'm trying to hold Muna while swatching. Hey, that's my phone. This shade is gorgeous. Abelia. The bottom one, look at that. Isn't that stunning? There we go. See how beautiful that is? And then this is Halation, right at the bottom. Can you even see it? Not really, it's kind of translucent. But that's more of like a inner corner shade for me, with I think it's got like a pinky shift. Really pretty. All right, I'm gonna put you down, buddy. That's all my eyeshadows. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different brands, but a lot more palettes and shadows. So that's everything. I hope that kind of gave you a good overview of the different kinds of eyeshadows, their pigmentation, their price points. I would say of all of them, Glamanatrix is the most expensive, but also the highest quality. So if you're gonna have a good higher price, at least it matches, and it's still not that bad. Like, I think the new palette from the Nearly Natural palette is gonna be around the $70 to $80 mark. And to be honest with you, that's not bad. She's indie. So it costs her more to make a palette than these big massive brands, and the quality is better than these big massive brands, so I'm happy to pay that. But then we've got like $10, you know, like there's a real big range in prices here. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know what your favorite Australian eyeshadow palette or single or brand is. I would love to know. And if there's any that I haven't tried that you love, like I've never tried Nude by Nature shadows. Yeah, there's a few brands that I haven't tried, so let me know what you think of other brands that I haven't tried. I'd really, really like to know, because your input is very important to me. You might get review from me, but I get review from you too. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and make sure you subscribe so you can see all the other ones. I'm gonna start with a bang. I think I'm gonna start with eyeshadows and then get into the other categories, which I'm gonna have multiple in categories, but eyeshadow is a big one. There's a lot to say about eyeshadows. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.